Good morning, students. Already we have discussed about the nervous system. It is made up of nervous tissue and it is formed of three distinct components. What are the three distinct components? Neurons or nerve cell. Second component is called the neuroglia, and third component is called the nerve fibers. So these are the three components already have been discussed. Now next one we are coming to the next structure of neurons. Very important book back question. A neuron or nerve cell typically consists of three basic parts. This part total it is called cyton. From the cyton, at one end of the cyton, the long elongated structures develop which is called the axon, and from the cyton branched structures arising, they are called the dendron or dendrites. So three components: cyton, dendrites and axon. AXON. Now one by one we have to discuss each diagram. First one, cyton. Cyton is also called the cell body or perikaryon. It has a central nucleus with abundant cytoplasm. If you see, this is the nucleus. Fully it is called the nucleus with abundant cytoplasm, called the neuroplasm. Cytoplasm of neuron, that's why it is called the neuroplasm. The cytoplasm has large granular body called the Nistel's granules. This we cannot see, but granule-like structures are present. These are called the Nistel's granules, and other cell organelles are also present. Neurons do not have the ability to divide, so they cannot divide into so many number. Only their growth is possible. Neurons do not have the ability to divide. Several neurofibrils are present in the cytoplasm that help in transmission of impulse to and from the cell body. To the cell body, that means dendrites will be collecting the impulse, it will be reaching to the cell body, and from the cell body, through action, it will be passing to the next neuron. That will be discussing, helping in transmission. So, nerve fibers are present, neurofibrils which are present in the cytoplasm that help in transmission of impulses to and from the cell body. Now next, that is the first part is called the cyton or cell body. Second part is called the dendrites. So many branched like structures. There are numerous branched cytoplasmic processes which project from the surface of the cell body. They are called the dendrites. They conduct impulses towards conduct means they transfer the impulses towards the cell body. Impulses towards the cyton or cell body. The branched projections increase the surface area for receiving more and more signals from the other nerve cells. That is only 3 sentences. Now next one we are going to discuss about the axon. Axon is a single elongated slender projection. Long elongated projection. That's a slender projection. The end of the axon terminates with fine branches. They are called the terminal branches. And the terminal branches are having the knob-like structure, some swelled structure which is called the synaptic knob. Terminal branch, fine branches which terminate into knob-like swellings, they are called the synaptic knobs. The plasma membrane, this is the axon. Plasma membrane of the axon is called the axoplasm, and the plasma membrane of the axon is called the axolemma, and the cytoplasmic-like material inside the axon, it is called the axoplasm. It carries impulses from the cyton to the next neuron. From the cyton. So axons may be covered by protective curved sheath, which is called the myelin sheath, which is further covered. This is, I will show once. This is the axon, and this axon is, it is arising. It is covered by whatever we can see. These are the coverings. These are called top side also, so that we cannot see. So axon is covered by myelin sheath, which is further covered by the Schwann cells or Schwann cells also. Schwann cells called the neurilemma. Myelin sheath breaks at intervals. We can see certain places it will break. It is not a continuous structure. These certain regions, it is having the myelin sheath breaks at some intervals by depression called the nodes of Ranvier. The region between the nodes is called the internode. So these are the nodes. and in between the nodes this region is called the internodes. This is internode, this is internode. So the myelin sheath is not a continuous structure. In between it is showing the depressions, breaks at certain intervals by depression. Those areas those regions are called the nodes of Ranvier. And if these are the nodes, in between the nodes the region is called internode. Myelin sheath acts as insulator and ensures a rapid transmission of impulses, nerve impulses. Till here you have to say. Now next part we are going to discuss about the synapse. The junction between the synaptic knob of action of one neuron and the dendrites or dendron of the next neuron is called the synaptic junction. So I will show here, suppose this is the neuron, terminal branches at the time, and at the end it is having the knob-like structure. So another neuron will be attaching here, so that if this is the cell body, this is the cell body action again, and these are the dendrites, these are the dendrites. So synaptic knob of one action, this is the synaptic knob of one action, and the one action of a neuron, and the dendrites or dendron of the next neuron. This junction, the synaptic knob and the dendrites of the neighboring neuron is called the synaptic junction, or it is also called synapse, synaptic junction, or it is also called the synapse. It's called the synapse. Information from one neuron can pass to the another neuron through these junctions with the release of some chemicals known as the neurotransmitters. So this synaptic knob will be releasing certain chemicals that will be helping to transmit the impulse from one neuron to the another neuron. What is the name of that chemical? It is called neurotransmitter. Why it is called neurotransmitter? The nerve impulse will be transmitted, transferred from the one neuron to the another neuron. That's why these chemicals are called the neurotransmitters. When the synaptic knob, it will be released, and that will be helping to carry the impulse from one neuron to the neighboring neuron. Now next one, it is next subheading, types of neurons. Neurons may be of different types based on their structure. Two criteria, based on the structure, based on the function. First we will be discussing based on the structure. Structurally, neurons may be of three different types. What are they? Unipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron will be having only one nerve process arise, this part. So if you draw like this, unipolar neuron means you have to draw only the cyton is there and only one projection is nucleus. No other projection is there. Then you can see here. This is the cyton and this is one small part, it is called the axon. Only one nerve process arises from the cyton, which acts as both axon, and then this one acts as both action and dendron. This is called unipolar neuron. Bipolar neurons, those are having two projections, upper side one, lower side one. Two nerve processes, of which one acts as action and the another acts as dendron. Now third one is called the multipolar neuron. Cyton gives rise to many dendrons and only one action and an action, that is called the multipolarity. So structurally, along with the diagram you have to practice. Now from where we can see unipolar neuron location found in the early embryos but not in adult. Bipolar neuron we can see in the retina of eye and olfactory epithelium of nasal chambers. Multipolar neurons are found in the cerebral cortex of brain. Now functionally also the neurons are classified into three types: sensory or afferent neuron, which carry the impulses from the sense organs to the central nervous system, either to the spinal cord or to the brain. So they are called the afferent neurons, which carry the impulses from the sense organ to the central nervous system. Motor neuron, which carry the impulses from just opposite central nervous system to the effector organs such as muscle fiber or the gland. And accessory or association neurons conducts impulses between the sensory and motor neurons. So functionally, the neurons are classified into 3 types. So what are they? The sensory afferent neuron, which carries the impulses from the sense organs to the central nervous system. Efferent neuron or motor neurons, they carry the impulses from the central nervous system to the effector organs. Association neuron, they carry impulses in between the afferent and efferent, sensory and motor neuron. That's all. Till here. Now next part, one more small part I will be discussing, types of nerve fibers. Nerve fibers are 2 types: myelinated nerve fibers, non-myelinated nerve fibers. What do you mean by myelinated nerve fibers? Now, when the action is covered by myelin sheath, they are called myelinated. When a myelin sheath is not there, that type of action is called, nerve fibers are called the non-myelinated. When the action is not covered by myelin sheath, myelin and non-myelin nerve fibers form the white matter. Myelin sheath, which area form, that is called white matter, which area is made up of non-myelinated nerves, they are called the grey matter of the brain. Both the white and grey matters, both are present in our brain. Till here. Thank you, children.